What internet marketing expert should you spend your valuable time listening to? Listen to someone who has over 20 years of web marketing experience and hundreds of website marketing success stories. That man is Aaron Sparks from Site Strategics. And this is Edge of the Web Radio.
We're talking to a special guest here today, Jeremy Epstein from Sprinklr. Hello, Jeremy.
Good afternoon.
Jeremy is the VP of Marketing at Sprinklr, an incredible social media account and audience engagement management tool. Prior to joining Sprinklr, he was also the founder and CEO of Never Stop Marketing, an international consulting firm which served Fortune 50 clients such as Johnson & Johnson and Microsoft. I bet there were some big heads in the room in those different enterprise level environments, wasn't there?
Did you just call our guest a big head?
No, not him.
I've been called much worse, guys. Don't worry about it.
Well, Jeremy, this time last year, actually April 19th, there was a special announcement, and Sprinklr actually announced that they have a social application suite that you offered up to the public, and it was tied to your relationship with Facebook as a preferred marketing developer, right?
That is correct. Yeah, it was a big announcement for us, and as you guys know, we focus specifically on the world's largest enterprises. That's the companies that we serve. We have over 200 household name brands, and Intel and Cisco and Virgin America and Sears and Newell Rubbermaid, all these types of companies that you've heard of and more. So what we released last year was a social application suite that really is designed to meet their needs, which is how do you have a global brand governance where you can create your campaigns, your look and feel, but also empower local teams in 50, 75, 80 countries to be able to customize it so that it might be in German or French or Spanish or Portuguese, but look consistent across the entire company. So we deployed this social application suite so these companies could do exactly that and have, feedback widgets and polls and interactive quizzes and all the things that they're looking for. But again, do it within the parameters of the requirements that a worldwide, global brand has. So yeah, that was a big announcement for us, and it's part of our, partnership that we have with, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Google Plus, as well as Facebook, because that's obviously what our clients demand.
And your relationship with these different networking environments, networking platforms, is ever growing as well, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a great. We're very fortunate, we have a two-way relationship. On the one hand, we're able to work closely with them and customize and build our platform to help our clients take advantages of the changes that they roll out. But the flip side is those platforms look to us to give them insights about what large brands are trying to accomplish, what large brands are doing, what are the trends there, so that they can build better products. So we actually are able to sort of be that middle person between the large brands who are our clients and the social platforms who are trying to better serve them. So we're very fortunate in that respect.
And can you talk a little bit about, with major brands, obviously there's regulatory issues and there's compliance issues and there's
not to mention legal issues. Yeah,
process flows and everything else that you have to do. At the end of the day, that can make their response time, a huge issue. With large companies, small companies already suffer that, they don't have time to get on social media and everything else. How are you guys? How are some of the examples of Virgin or Dell, or how are some of the companies utilizing Sprinklr to help alleviate some of those issues and challenges with social media?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. I mean, I think the first thing to kind of take a step back at is to think about how does social change when you move from a small business environment to one where you're at scale. Right. So just to take a couple of examples, let's say if you only have a few people on your team, then, you get a question you can't answer. I email it to Mike or Joe or Jess or whoever, right? If you only have a few, 50, 100 messages coming in a day, your question is, how do I answer all of them? And if you only have, one Facebook, profile, one YouTube, one LinkedIn, okay, I just need to click back and forth. Now imagine you're Dell, or imagine you're, Virgin America or Cisco, and you have 1,000 people around the world using it, and you're having 100,000 conversations, and you have 400 different accounts. Well, all of a sudden, your parameters change because you don't even know most of the people who are working on it.
You have
no
idea.
You can't handle the volume of conversations. So what we have are a couple things that really are designed specifically for those scenarios. So one, natural language processing. So every message that comes in goes through an engine that then scores the message for sentiment, for influence, for geolocation, for keywords, and then routes that, much like a traffic cop, to say, oh, well, this is a tweet sent from Britain, and it says football, so they are probably talking about what we would call soccer. Let's send it over here. This guy's really ticked off, and he's an influencer. Let's escalate that, So you have that scenario number one. Mm-hmm. Scenario number two is something we call message queues, because if you know it's a customer service issue, but you don't even know the people on the customer service team, you just need to say, hey, I need to pass it over to them. So you say, I'm going to take this message, I'm going to put it in the customer service queue for France, and they'll have a whole system to deal with it, because you can't spend your time copying, pasting, sending an email, the guy's on vacation, and you guys know that if you don't respond timely to a social message, you got a bunch of problems. Yeah. And then your last point, which is perhaps the most important one, about governance and security. You need an infrastructure across all of the divisions and functions within a company, across marketing, customer service, legal, sales, everybody, that says, this guy has access to these accounts. This guy has access to only these accounts. This guy can post to Facebook, but only in these countries. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And doing it in a way so that once the guy gets fired, you get rid of, we like to say, if you kill him in Sprinklr, he's dead, but that's only in a metaphorical way, of course. He doesn't have the access to the Excel spreadsheets that are being sent around in other organizations with the passwords. So you have to have that entire enterprise-wide vision to be able to handle huge volumes of messages, large numbers of users, and large numbers of social accounts in one place, or else you're going to be asking for trouble one way or the other in terms of non-responsiveness or security breaches, as other companies, none of whom are our clients, of course, have actually encountered.
Yeah, the intern is no longer with us is not a valid excuse with
right.
a Fortune 500
well,
company.
that does kind of diffuse the issue that started to really percolate was, okay, all of a sudden there's some authority of all these different social media accounts inside this enterprise. What happens whenever this guy leaves or is dismissed or what have a guy or gal? What does that have? How does that play a part in the ramification for the entire social edifice that an enterprise level company has? So you're actually able to kind of compartmentalize these different players and make them responsible for different type of responses, but they are absolutely not integral into all the social communication for the enterprise, right?
You got it. You want a job on the Sprinklr marketing team?
Awesome.
Jen, get an infographic right now.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic.
Well, you have.
I could see that little audio clip going MP3 on Twitter. Like, dude, he owes me a job. What's his problem?
that. I could be knocking on your door.
Well, you guys you guys really skyrocketed on the scene. This is a pretty busy industry right now. There's a lot of social media, platforms, and people don't really understand what the differences are between them. Some of them are monitoring, some of them are alert systems, some of them do semantic analysis, but at a minimum, some do it better. Mm-hmm. Can you talk through, if you're a business today, what are the key features that you really need to make sure that when you're investing in a social media platform that you just have to have?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, you actually raised a critical point about the skyrocket growth. Just to kind of give you some perspective on what's happening in enterprise social, I've been with the company for about 16 months, and when I joined, I was employee number 29, and now we're at about 170.
Wow.
So we've seen 400%, year-over-year growth across the board. So that's been absolutely phenomenal. On top of that, we've been consistently ranked by the leading industry analyst firms as, the most capable enterprise social platform for large companies. So Altimeter Group and consultancy, and the Forrester report just came out, said that we had the most powerful technology in the market. So those factors from the industry validation, the client base that we have, and the vision that we have combined our growth. And that sort of leads into the next question, which is our vision has been very much from day one about an enterprise-wide social infrastructure. So what that means is you need a platform that is designed to support multiple channels. If you look around, there are a lot of tools out there that started off as a Facebook tool, a Twitter tool, a tweet deck, a Hootsuite or something.
Right.
And then they say, oh, yeah, we need Facebook. Oh, let's add that. Oh, we need YouTube. Let's add that. Or to your earlier conversation, yeah, now we need Pinterest. Well, that's equal to saying, well, I built a foundation for my house, which I plan to have one story, and all of a sudden I decide I want to have a third, a second, a third, or a fourth story. Well, that'll work. But what happens when you need 50 stories? Your foundation's not going to hold. So what we did at Sprinklr is we said we're going to build a foundation knowing this thing could be 200 stories high with the number of channels that could evolve eventually. And we've seen that, Vine or Pinterest or whatever it is of the task. Who cares? That's number one. The second thing is it has to be designed to support multiple functions. So many organizations out there say, oh, social is marketing. We're a social marketing platform or something. And look, I'm the head of marketing. I love marketing. But that's not the whole story of social. As you guys well know, social touches every single part of the business. A customer tweets about how dissatisfied they are with being delayed at the airport. That's a customer service issue, right? So you have to be able to touch all the different parts of the business and stay coordinated. So you need to be able to support marketing and sales and HR and legal, multiple functions. And then if you really want to be an enterprise player, you have to think divisions and geographies. You might get a ticked off customer service complaint on your Facebook page, on your Facebook US page, but this guy's talking about a product he bought in Brazil. What do you do then? Well, I got to get it to the Brazil team. I don't even know who those people are. I need to get it over there. I need to have a system of governance. I need to have standardized reporting so that the CEO and the CFO can compare, apples to orange, or not have apples to oranges comparisons across, how is Brazil compared to China compared to the U.S. So you need to be able to support that. And that's where Sprinklr has been focused. And when you look at the market, there are a lot of tools that have said, oh, we're just going to do a few channels. Oh, we're just going to be a marketing platform. Oh, we're just going to be a social customer service program. If you're not looking holistically and you're thinking about this enterprise-wide infrastructure, we believe that ultimately you're going to run into a pretty big problem.
And then you're going to have to jump into another system. Yeah, exactly. There's an adoption process, and early adopters into these smaller platforms are going to hit that ceiling or hit the size of the room. A lot of things that you offer up from a social at scale moniker there. You've got crisis management, you've got customer service and feedback, event management, human resources, and marketing. This social engagement tool operates on all those different cylinders. It's a fantastic application. There's a lot of case studies on Sprinklr, and that's without an E. It's Sprinklr with just an R.com. So check that out. It's got some great references. This is a fantastic tool. The customers, what's your I guess a perfect scenario for a type of customer of Sprinklr, Jeremy, real quick?
Yeah, so typically, 80% of our customers have $1 billion in revenue or bigger. So it's usually companies that have said, okay, we're past the dabbling phase. We have to get serious about this. Where there's type of executive buy-in at the senior marketing level, senior customer service level.
Yep.
So a big company that says, we realize if we don't have an enterprise-wide social infrastructure to handle this across the board, we're going to have problems. That's usually when they say, hey, Sprinklr, can you help me?
Great.